Money. Welcome to the project. If it's TDP, you can bet it's must-see TV. Real talk, having real talks with the TBE. The best ever, letting me be me. We be always busy and they hate that. They gotta see Miggy in his Maybach. Hater couldn't hit me till they listen to a playback. What I owe you, cause like really this the payback. No Diddy, take that. See in profit, we could pop it till it's over. See the vision can't be cropped unless I'm chopping it through Nova. Kato jumping in and out of pocket like a soldier. Cause like really to touch every single topic is a project. Let me show you. Up to something like my hand on a cannon. Push a button like I'm Lando or Landon. Climbing up the charts, how you smart but you can't understand it. You will never see us famished, so vanish, for real. Welcome to the project.
I don't think it would be right to come out to California and not be playing some Nipsey Hussle. You know what I mean? Like that, for me, what he represented was definitely something different. You know what I mean? Like entrepreneurial success and just, you didn't get that all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start this interview off like this. In the hallway, you asked me a question. You said, what made you want to have this conversation?
Indeed.
I told you half truth, half lie, because I was gonna save it. I was gonna save it for this. I'm not fucking around with Cardi. Their crews are, you know what I mean? There's Cardi, there's Nicki, there's Megan. Like right. You can't
Queen B.
You can't go against that. They're just the Beehive.
It's an army. It's a nation.
It's dangerous. They attack you. They'll get you. They'll report you. They'll do all sorts of shit. But we ain't gonna get into that. Right
No. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. She called my name once or twice.
Yeah, It's just, you don't want to be summoned. You know what I mean? By her. That's something that you don't want to do. But I'm gonna get into this. More importantly, welcome to the Danza Project, Chris Blake.
I appreciate you having me. Love.
Something that I love speaking about always is about men's mental health and the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I know that you're a father of 3 kids.
Yeah,
and there's one on the way.
Yeah.
In just a few short days. So
Indeed.
tell me what that walk is like in your life right now.
Well, everything I love, everything I do, them babies, my children. Even if you just look at my bag, like, hate to dive right in, but like, I'm a dad for real. Yeah. This is like a diaper bag. So you pull out one, you get another Goyard, this the dad bag.
Oh, shit.
Couple diapers on deck for my baby.
On duty.
Dude wipes for me, but for my baby, we got like the mess-free slime, we got the knockers, we got like Biscoff cookies and shit like that.
Oh yeah, you took those straight off the plane.
You know that. But they always look out for my baby. It's another Goyard in here too.
Come on.
Clip that up.
Flavors.
But I say that to say everything I do is for my children. Part of the reason I spoke up and decided to own my narrative in totality was just because I know one day, especially in the digital age, my baby's gonna have to recall everything that their father went through the same way I got to recall everything that my parents went through. And they didn't grow up in the digital age. I hear it by way of hearsay and things of that nature. So with the digital footprint on your life lasting forever, I couldn't live with my son feeling like his dad didn't step up the plate for what I deem to be justice. Or even just walking through my day-to-day life with whatever regret I got from what I didn't walk toward and adjust or make right of. Looking at him always made me exude the maximum level of confidence I have in myself. So, I mean, that's why it is what it is. That's why I'm Chris Blake. That's why he's Milo Blake. That's why my daughter, her first name is Blake. That's why, I got a new baby coming. He's going to be Cross Blake. You know what I mean? So It is what it is.
So how has fatherhood changed the way that you approach life?
Well, before, I always felt like I was naturally gifted in a way that made me feel like playing the back, I don't want to say the shadow, but operating within the shadows felt more comfortable because I didn't want to be so forward facing. I don't know if it was an element of running from the spotlight, but I definitely felt like when I had my first child, and I just touched on it a bit, when I had my first child, Milo Blake, my baby, he in order for him to reach that certain level of confidence within himself, I had to exude the maximum level of confidence within myself. And it's crazy because the apartment I set up with his room and the race car bed and all of the above was just a few short blocks away from where we're currently shooting right now. So it feel good to be in that moment all over again. I ain't been downtown in a little bit, but I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful for my babies. And it's cool, like, even seeing my son, when he goes through, like, his YouTube algorithm and shit like that, I'll see him, see my face pop up, and he's like, hey, Dad, that's you. Hey, Dad, that's you. And I know that eventually, he's 5 now, he'll be 6 in May. One day he'll be 8, 9, 10, and he'll look back at all of the things that I was doing when I'm shouting him out like this, or just speaking about my fatherhood journey with a certain level of pride. And he'll know that his daddy was dead serious about everything he was doing, and that he was doing it for him and his sister and his brother and all of the above. So it's the ultimate form of, like, God paying me back. You know what I mean? I feel like it's certain elements or certain situations that happened in my life that one wrong turn and I wouldn't be here. So the fact that I still get another day to wake up and be a father to these babies, he'll tell you, before I walked in here, who I'm on the phone with? My baby, you know what I mean? So and right now he's on the East Coast. I pay attention to the clock. I know he's going to bed around 9, so I call him around, like, between 8 and 9 o'clock just to check in for that period of time. We do this game where he'll have to, like, detail all of his favorite things, and I'll say something, and then it's my turn, and I'll say something along, oh, it's a restaurant that's red and white, and they sell French fries and chicken nuggets, and he'll say Chick-fil-A. But in that moment, I'm teaching him how to be descriptive. I'm teaching him how to look at something for more than what you actually just see, beyond just the surface. I'll ask for details. He'll tell me, I'll give you 3 details. So I'm teaching him how to be descriptive with his words and the things that he sees, and how you correlate that to verbiage and things of that nature. And then when I, go sit with his teachers, and I'm hearing about the increases in his markers by way of the trimester, when their marks are up for the second trimester as opposed to the first, and I'm watching his grades increase and things of that nature. And it's the dad in me that's, like, constantly involved, that is, like, the direct correlation to that of his success. I know you know it. I mean, you're a father as well. That presence is something that you can't buy. They always say, how do you spell love to a child? T-I-M-E. You know what I mean? Like, that's Bible. That's all I live for. I got the headphones on right now, but his name is tattooed on this ear. His sister's name is tattooed on this ear. My baby's name's all over, but everything I do is for them. So right now, in this moment, I'll be back to y'all shortly, but Daddy got to work.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, no, it's something that most of the people I keep around me are great fathers, because I believe that if you're moving around with people that aren't great fathers, that like you're putting yourself in a bad situation.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? Like that is what you should value the most when you have a child. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you go out and you navigate your own life and you try to reach success, your definition of success for them. You know what I mean? For yourself, but for them ultimately, because what you're trying to do as soon as you have a child is, what am I able to pass on from what I'm doing now? You know what I mean? Whether some people, it won't be money.
Yeah.
It'll be the lessons.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You know what I mean? It'll be them that'll be carrying it. You know what I mean? As our parents did for us.
1,000%.
So,
I've heard even Chris Paul talk about his time around Monty Williams. A lot of people know Monty Williams lost his wife, and he was devoting a lot of time to the team. And Chris Paul would always have his son at the practices and things of that nature. And Monty was kind of like having a work-life conflict where he wasn't around the kids as much. Wife had passed. It's like somebody trying to fill that void. And CP told him, like, yo, bring him here, bro. That access is the greatest thing that you can give him. That's why you see Lil Chris now dunking and things of that nature. And you had a guy on the show, I actually consider him to be my family, Lou Young, comedian.
Oh, okay, yeah, hell yeah.
I'm from Baltimore, 410, forever.
Yeah.
But Lou is from a little bit up the road in D.C. He has a brother also named Louis Young. Cody is what I called him. He was like my god brother. Our mothers was best friends. The Lou that was on your show, he grew up with the dad. They share the same father. But his brother and my cousin, same person, was shot and killed at a gas station. So every year, I know I always see him post, and it's a moment for me as well. But just seeing the lineage of how their father was so involved at all of the football practices, at all of the basketball games, at every possible turn in which he could be there, he was there. And I see how diligent that has panned out to be in Lou's life as he's a father to his daughter, or I don't even know if he got more kids than that now, but I just see him on the same path as much like you speak to, much like I speak to, where it's like, my time and energy is the best thing I can give you, and the access is everything that I can give you. Much like you just said, it might not be money I pass through you, but it might be, and the money gonna be there too.
Yeah.
But the greatest thing I could do is break down all of this shit for you to just be able to walk as seamlessly as possible, a path of least resistance. And not to say you shouldn't have your bumps and bruises, but if I got anything to do with it, I would like to have a say-so in curating your journey to the point where you don't got to be smacked around the way that the world smacked me around.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's a noble duty, you know, and who better for them to learn from than
Right here.
father?
Right here.
Like if you could give them the best shot at the world, because you're not going to be able to solve all their problems and protect them from it all. But if I can give you the tools, so when these things come, you know how to handle it.
Indeed.
That's gold. That's
Indeed.
priceless, literally.
Indeed. Facts.
So
And I actually, while we on the topic of it, I think I'm like real proud there, for real.
this man pulled out diapers. I know it's real.
No. Me and my baby. So we was just at Chuck E. Cheese. We took photos just like my baby and my mom. Me and my baby. They're gonna clip this up. I'm like all in an interview. I'm talking trash. And
That's me.
Yeah, I love my babies. But yeah, no greater duty on earth. Once God bless you with that ability to be a father, I feel like that's like him giving me a chance to, like you say, you're supposed to walk in the image of Christ. I know I'm not pushing my religion on none of y'all, but you're supposed to walk in the image of Christ. God gave us his son. You know what I mean? So it just means a lot to me to be able to give my child as much as possible, and pursuing my purpose is the best thing I could do to live and lead by example. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You have all boys?
No, I got my eldest is a boy. I got my baby girl who's killing it right now in the realm of like modeling and stuff right now. If you pull up to your local Target, you'll see her modeling in like the Tony's ad for Fisher Price. She's also on the Abercrombie Kids page right now. And
Placements? Let's
oh
go.
no, she's killing. She's on North Face. She's on Honest Diapers. She's a superstar. That girl.
Do you feel a difference in the wisdom that you give to her versus the boys?
Well, she only 2 right now.
Okay,
But
okay.
I feel like the conversations I'm having with my son and even how delicate he is with his sister kind of helps me in my approach. Like the number one thing I want to keep with him is his innocence and his purity. I don't want him to be tainted by whatever controversy I have with anybody in his life. I don't want him to be tainted by any controversy that I got going on within myself. I would like the sanctity of his childhood to be preserved for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And as he approaches the real world, I grew up around a lot of like Jewish people. So around that 13-year-old age mark, you get the bar mitzvah situation going. And I watched how much of that community would pour back into their own.
Heavily.
Yeah. And then like one of my first jobs was working at like a country club and stuff like that. And I watched the wealth be passed down.
Yes.
If you want to be a lawyer, you can go intern at this firm. You might be 15 years old. You know what I mean? But the path is already paid for you. If you want to work in this field of life, somebody's over there for you too. So even allowing my network to be an asset for that of my children is just something I can't replace. If you want to play basketball, I know a couple coaches. You know what I mean? I know a couple dudes in the league right now, so we can make sure you buttoned up to the T. So yeah, I'm just grateful to even call myself a father, more so than anything else. But the main reason I spoke up on probably one of the topics that we're going to touch on today, if not more than one topic that we're going to touch on today, was because I know I got my babies watching. You know what I mean? And more often than not, as I go through this journey of just making sure justice is what justice is supposed to be, the number one thing on my mind is just making sure I get back home to them babies. And I trust them more than anything else. I'm pretty sure y'all have gone through like highs and lows of life and things like that, where life will take you on a ride, some of which is unexpected, people will cross you and things like that. But the one thing for sure, 2 things for certain thing I know is that my DNA, what I'm breathing life into on a day in, day out basis, the likelihood of them crossing me, I'll take my chances.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it's raising them the right way.
Yeah,
you know, spending your time outside of that, right?
Yeah.
And even in that,
Yeah.
because I want to know what your actual day is like.
Yeah.
When it comes to Chris Blake, aside from the storylines that we see on the internet and what's on social media, what is a typical day like for yourself?
Man, okay, I'm up.
Let's adjust this mic real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I see you struggling.
Yeah.
And it keeps moving left and right. That's definitely too high, though.
I don't want to block his face.
Lower? How's that?
That's cool.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I seen just keep holding on to it.
Yeah.
So what is a
day in the life?
A day in the life, a typical day
Man,
for Chris Blake.
We up 4 o'clock in the morning. First things first, I'm drinking my water. As I'm drinking my water, it's probably Joe Budden podcast playing in my ears.
Could we change that?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Danza Project. It's the Danza Project playing in my ears. But a podcast of some sort for sure, just to soak up the day, soak up the news, things like that. I feel like now I'm getting the news more audibly than like reading it. But as I'm listening to something, I'm probably scrolling, just paying attention to the timeline. By the time 6 o'clock roll around, I'm on a walk. I'm probably calling one of my partners or something like that to talk about the day. I'm going through collections of like clothes that came out and things like that. If I'm seeing looks that I think are cool, whether it be people in other countries, people in downtown LA, people in New York, I'm screenshotting and just seeing how people are pairing things together. By the time 9 o'clock is hitting, the kids are off to school. I'm by myself at this point in time. It's probably some form of content playing in the background. One of the main parts of like the DNA of my day is just feeding my subconscious 24/7. So I got kids now, so it's not like loud noises blasting all over the place. When I was a single man, that's how I was. But I got probably like one earphone in, consuming something. Even if I'm not even listening, just feed my subconscious. You'd be surprised, like what'll pop up and just conversation from just what you playing in your background. So constantly, 1,000% feeding the subconscious. If I feel like my diction is slipping a bit, even if I don't particularly care for what Stephen A is saying, I'm listening to him talk because he speaks with proper diction. And again, feeding the subconscious. A lot of stuff will just come across my desk in the realm of like First Take or whatever Shannon's doing, him and Ocho from the night before, stuff like that. I'm reading every article on Hypebeast that's coming out. I'm reading every article on High Snobiety that's coming out, whether I like it or not, just feeding my brain. Kids are getting picked up in the realm of like 3 to 4 o'clock. I'm dealing with a pregnant woman right now, so I'm constantly in demand. I get a lot of phone calls about things that I feel like don't necessarily matter.
Hey, can you just text me that? You could have texted me that, all right?
Pregnant or not, I feel like those phone calls always come in.
Man,
it just
right.
it just adds a little bit more value.
More often than not, I'm looking at the phone like, did she just call me for this? Like, you had to pick up the phone and call me for this? She'll pick up the phone and ask me what time something closed. Like Siri ain't a thing or Google ain't real.
I just seen a meme today, right? And there's a guy in the background and he's watching his wife. And his wife is talking to their child. And she's saying, you know, you have to understand how to be patient. And he's like, she's like, and learn how to apologize when you're wrong. And he's like,
danger.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we know what it's like. But go on about your day.
Pardon me. Yeah, kids are getting picked up in around like about 3 o'clock. At that point, I'm gonna probably do some form of like cardiovascular activity. I'm definitely on the calisthenics, so throughout my day, it's push-ups, it's pull-ups, all of the above, but constantly feeding the subconscious. If I have a day with a client, that means I gotta meet you at the store or at least take a call to send you to a specific store. I'm vetting through, because I do a lot of wardrobe styling. A lot of people hear stylist and they automatically think like one-off looks. A lot of what I do is building everything around you so that you can do it yourself. Even when I was in entertainment management, my style was more give you the keys and teach you how to drive and you won't leave. I never was like insecure of like a client leaving me or something like that.
Giving the game away.
Yeah, I never cared like that. I feel like anybody who holds it so tight and so dear to your chest, you operating from a place of insecurity. At the end of the day, the game is free. You know what I mean? And you can still sell it while you tell it.
Right, because nobody do it like.
1,000%. I come from the era of Kobe. Hello, pick and roll right motherfucking here. How? Come on, come get this. And I do this shit 6 times in a row. You can't do nothing with it. So back to the topic. For instance, let's use a store like H. Lorenzo. If I know that you have XYZ events coming up, like for instance, the summer's here. So guys might want looks for the Jay-Z concerts that just came out. Or the dates that just broke or whatever the case is. Essence Fest might be speaking at Essence Fest. So I'm setting you up for the summer. The way that could potentially look, let's get you a good round of vintage tees. Let's get you some good Levi's vintage source here in LA. I might set up a Chrome appointment, not necessarily at the store, but maybe something along the lines of a conversation with the Stark family. If you're that caliber of client, we can get some exclusive pieces running for you. You see OBJ on the field with like Chrome gloves and Chrome cleats and things like that. Them come from early conversations where like, I know you see Ben the Don now as like like a vocal person, social media personality and stuff like that. Early on, Odell was getting a lot of those opportunities, and Ben was right there to have the conversations. So when I was representing Gervonta, Ben and I developed this great relationship because he was representing, I don't want to say representing Odell, but he was standing right next to Odell. Yeah. So when Mike Amiri is trying to get his brand off the ground and he need cool guys to show up to an Amiri event, and it's only a slim picking of guys here in LA that he had access to, Ben is making that happen. Ben will forever get Amiri to his door to the day he dies. Shout out to Nima at Amiri, but Ben will forever get those packages because of the brand feeling a certain level of
the relationship.
Exactly, you get it.
The rapport.
Yeah,
over time, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's such an exclusive brand. When to find those pieces,
exactly.
I'm not saying like a shirt or pair of pants. You call those pieces.
Yeah, he creating shit.
Yeah.
Like it's the real deal. Wow. So setting things up like that, where your experience is one-to-one, and just always trying to make sure that my client feels like they live in a world that's like custom tailored to them. I'll give you a good example. A guy thought he was doing it right, and he was doing it wrong. And I got a lot of love for him, so I want to say what I say today in the realm of all things Gervonta Davis are coming from a place of love and not animosity. We had our back and forths and all of the above, but I just want to say, brother, I got a lot of love for you. I know you're going through what you're going through, and man, you know what I mean? I hope it all works out.
Yeah, keep your head up.
Yeah. You got a lot going on, champ, but you know what I mean? Navigate it.
Stay fly throughout.
Yeah. But the reason I bring his name up, okay, so boom, when I went to let's use the camp leading up to Rolly Romero as an example.
Yeah, Rolly Romero.
Yeah. Rolly. So the Rolly fight, as we lead up to the Rolly fight, G had guys around him that was like, and at the time my son was just born, so I was taking some time to myself, all of the above. But he was training in Vegas, I'm in LA, and he called me, said he need me. And when he called me and said he need me, I just started looking at things that I saw gaps in, and we fixed that. For instance, he was buying all of these graphic tees from like Target and Hot Topic, and it might not even been him that was buying them, just like people around him, like, hey, I want some graphic tees or old t-shirts and shit like that. But he wasn't buying actual vintage tees. Here in LA, there's a culture around thrifting and vintage, and there's places where you can go where you can spend $500 and that's like the minimum you pay, but you leaving with bins and bins and bins of like vintage that's been sorted and vetted through, and you getting the shirts for like $10 that could sell at like round two on Melrose vintage for like $50.
50, 60,
yeah, exactly.
35.
So in that realm. When you know those shirts they can go as high as thousands of dollars and shit like that. So I filled the gap. For instance, we can use round two as an example. We were sitting at some dinner, and I think All Access was filming at the time with Showtime. But anyways, Floyd was fighting, I think, Logan Paul in Miami while we were sitting in Vegas having this conversation. And we was talking about the vintage tees that he needed to have in his rotation. Man, he passed me the phone. I might have loaded the cart up with probably like $10,000 worth of vintage tees. Don't quote me on that number, but I definitely know that vintage by round two didn't approve the transaction. I had to get on the phone with him the next day, tell him what I was trying to accomplish, and then we were able to press purchase. All of those tees ended up showing up at wherever we were staying at that point in time. And then you see him go through the whole training camp with a world of vintage tees. It might be vintage Floyd tees from when he was fighting the old opponent.
True vintage, not new vintage.
The real vintage.
Because there is new vintage.
Yes.
And
even the press conference for Ryan Garcia, and Nick can probably clip this up and look at it. He approaches the mic in a vintage Oscar De La Hoya tee. He had a biker jacket on, which kind of covered it, and I wanted him to take that off. But it was an Oscar De La Hoya vintage tee. It was kind of like a slap in the face to your promoter, like, I'm out here killing in your old shit, and I'm about to thrash this dude at the same time. So we would find like little subliminals, or either something like showing up to that press conference, he had no glasses. My training glasses at that point in time were Oakleys. So I just handed him a pair of Oakleys. He does the whole presser, and they're mirror tinted. So all you see whenever they snap the photos are all of these reporters in his eyes. You get what I'm saying? So it's just small things like that, but just being in the game and being prepared. Much like how I got my bag, I'm prepared for my day-to-day. It's dude wipes for me, but they can work for the kids. Yeah. It's diapers on deck, even though my kids ain't here. If I run into them right now, I'm Gucci. If one of y'all got kids, here. You know what I mean? Like type shit. I got a couple snacks on deck just in case. I was giving them the equation. If I give my daughter maybe one sour gummy or something along those lines, that's gonna buy me maybe 30 seconds. If I give her 4, that'll buy me like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Then I give it a cookie, then I give it a phone. I just bought myself like 2 hours.
Dude, just make sure when you're doing the gummies, you stay away from my boy Byron.
Who's my?
He's got some special gummies over
One
there.
with his eyes low over there.
Yeah, she ain't gonna eat them gummies. But no. Back to, I guess we was talking about what a day in the life looks like.
You were
so
talking about getting the pieces.
Exactly. So like vintage will show up after we sort vintage, just filling in all the gaps. A lot of people don't realize when it comes to style and aesthetic, if you can, and this is something that like Gervonta would be like, shh, don't tell nobody. Shit like that. Because he was all like, keep it in. There's a lot of guys kind of jacking the style and running with things that we was initiating, but I kept trying to tell him like, bro, if you are a quote unquote trendsetter, if you are cracking down the pavement, it's their job to follow.
Yeah. That's what you kind of want.
Exactly. So he would get frustrated when he seen peers in the space. I'm not gonna name nobody because it's all love at this point in time, but fill in the blank how you want to fill in the blank. But jacking whatever style we was pushing, and he just wanted to keep it to himself. That's why he wouldn't post on Instagram or wouldn't do anything to kind of like uplift. Exactly. Even me.
They call that gatekeeping.
He would gatekeep me.
That's crazy.
He would gatekeep me. Like I'd be in the photo. That's my brother. You
The
know what I'm
source,
saying?
right?
Yeah, he wouldn't gatekeep. I'd be in the photo. He won't tag me. I'm like, yo, bro, this is all left right here. Like, it don't even make sense. But figuring out the holes within your wardrobe and eliminating all bad. If you eliminate all bad, your only option is good.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? If I take every pair of ratty sweats out of your closet and I replace them with maybe a couple pairs of Balenci sweats, maybe a couple pairs of like just whatever XYZ brand is in your DM, but it fits whatever brand aesthetic that we pushing. You pair that with the proper footwear. You pair that with the proper tees. Just for the summertime. We just talking about for the summertime. If you training, I might get you 10 ERD tees to just go work out in. And pair that with the vintage, and you might be wearing Nike shorts or Lululemon shorts or fucking Alo shorts or Aloe. Joe Budden keep fucking me up, bro. You listen to somebody say something wrong so many times, it'll start coming out. I don't know why people say Aloe. But anyways, just certain pairings that make sense. And for me, I didn't always think of it like a skill. I kind of looked at it like something that everybody had the ability to do. But I'm pretty sure it was a point in your however many years of life you looked around and said, you know what, I'm actually good at this. Mm-hmm. And you might have been looking at it like, well, is everybody good at this? Like for instance, I got a homie who's really good at putting things together, like physically. I suck at that shit. But he can't put an outfit together. Yeah. I can put an outfit together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't put an outfit together either. I got help.
Oh,
you know, did I do good?
I'm about to say you fly right now, man.
I got one like.
No. I want to hear it.
No, that's cool.
I want to hear it.
We got to do this.
I want to hear it.
Listen, we are on the front lines. We are on camera all the time. So
I just talked all this Gervonta shit about him like trying to like. He would get really frustrated about certain peers within the space stealing things from him and then claiming that they were his own. Claiming that they were their own.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, one guy went and got his teeth done by the same dentist that we all went to and mirrored the exact, like, mold of his mouth. Whoa. And it was like, oh, I got the best smile in the game. And it really frustrated him. It's like, nigga, you copied and pasted my mouth. Like, that's all, pause, but that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But my only gripe with your outfit is the fact that there's a guy behind can I say this? There's a guy, there's a guy, and I really have no problem with this guy, but I see him pull so much from me, and it really fucking bothers me. It really like makes my skin crawl because I see him pull so much from my everything and be acting like, yo, bro, I'm right here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit be.
No homage.
So who?
I can't do that.
So I dressed like somebody that.
Nah, he makes a article of clothing that's.
Oh, okay, I got you. I got you.
But I'm not gonna do that. I think it's gonna speak for itself. A simple Google will tell you who's behind who.
Yeah.
And it's only one piece you got on that's kind of screaming. But aside from the fact that the piece I think is decent.
Yeah.
He's rebranded and changed that name. Part of that reason that frustrates me.
Now he's just pointing at it directly.
Yeah. I try tiptoe. I'm not really good at that.
Yeah.
One thing I'm getting from you is you're very intentional.
Thank you.
A lot of the things that you do, just the way you prepare the bag and the way you handle your kids and the way you make sure you have a place in their developmental and just the way you're conversating, you're very intentional. So it's hard for you to dance around the facts.
Yeah. And the word is circumlocucious when you beat around the bush and shit like that. I really, really, really struggled with tiptoeing and dancing. But that frustrated me because it was a play off another brand. The brand that he did the play off was obviously Bottega Veneta. So to have a brand called Bottega Desires,
slap in the face.
It just made me feel like, why would the bar be set so low for you to desire something that already exists? And you build an entire brand off of desiring something that's already exists. Like if I stood in front of you right now and I said Nike Desires.
Yeah, word.
Like I have a run brand called Nike Desires. You'd be like, bro, just call it Desires. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, just call it Desires.
Even if it's dope, it's like all the words and names in the world.
Yeah, and it could have came, I mean, I know he's younger than me. It could have came from a place of just like him having that aspiration to be able to press purchase on that site. And I come from that.
Yeah.
When I first got my Under Armour gig, shit, the bar was low for me. I went to Zara and loaded up my cart with everything I could fucking imagine. Cause I could never, it was certain Zara pieces, I'd be like, all right, I gotta pick. I want this, but I can't get that. I went to Zara, I loaded up the entire cart. And once I felt like I could do that, then I started playing in different stores and developing profiles and things of that nature. I was always gonna find my way to Saint Laurent, but I was never gonna start no brand called Saint Laurent Desires. I'm not knocking this guy, bro. I'm not knocking him because it's all love. But it's not at the same time when you be stealing my.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't jack that.
Saint Blake might have did numbers, man.
No. I don't jack that. But I know he did rebrand, and I think he rebranded because he kind of probably felt like that's something he wanted to put behind him. Yeah. So if you see this, Holmes, watch the whole clip because I don't got no problem with you.
We all need you, all right?
Yeah, but cite your sources too.
Growing up, what type of environment?
Plagiarism at an all-time high.
Growing up, what type of environment did you come up from that made you into the man that you are today? Like, what gave you that fashion sense, and what made you an intentional man?
So I'm definitely heavily rooted in my faith. I spent more time in church as a child than I did in school. I was in church minimum 5 days a week. Monday was leaders meeting. My mom was in a dance ministry. My dad played the guitar. He was also a part of a group called the Griffith Special, who was like locally known. They did like all of the quartets and stuff like that. My dad played behind Tony Braxton and Drew Hill and all of the above. A member of Drew Hill Jazz is actually my cousin, so I come from a musical family as well. And part of like Drew Hill's management was like at my church. So a lot of like managerial things kind of like shine bright in my eyes because that was the closest thing to like what I could touch. My school bus used to ride past Cisco's house. From Drew Hill, I don't know if y'all know Drew Hill, but Thong Song, Uncle's the Dragon, all of the above. So Kevin Peck was their manager. Kevin Peck sat a few rows behind me in church. So one Sunday, he's paying his tithes and offering. The next Sunday, he accepted a BET award. The Sunday after that, he right back in church. So I was seeing this on a day in, day out basis at my church. Monday was leaders meeting. My mom was in dance ministry. My dad played guitar. Yeah, exactly. Tuesday was nothing. Wednesday was Bible study. Thursday was nothing. Friday, we had children's choir and mass choir. I sung in both of those. Saturday was like a boys to men ministry and then married couples ministry. And then Sunday, I had at least 3 services. So it was like constant church. And that was my life, like from birth to like age 16. So I think all of that time spent in the mission statement at my church was to grow in Christ and make a difference in this world. So a lot of my time was spent just figuring out how to make magic happen. And the fact that I had, that faith boiling inside of me, I always felt like it was possible. And I never really had somebody come around me and kill my inner child. My dad, he might have been doing whatever he was doing, but my mom always made me feel like I could be whatever I wanted. And when the Air Zoom Generation LeBron came out and she bought me that sneaker, LeBron 1, when she bought me that sneaker, she got me these CBG shirts that said my name in embroidery. And when it said my name in embroidery, it was the first time I actually seen my name in fabric. And that changed that. That made me feel like that. Yeah. That shit turned me to the moon, okay? Jeez. Something crazy. And ever since I saw that, it different level. Even I grew up like playing basketball and shit like that. Friday, I knew that we would have like maybe Juan Dixon come. It would be like the last day of camp. Juan Dixon would come, or they say Carmelo's coming or somebody like that. He may or may not show. Dante Green might come. One of the basketball players in the city, Mark Karcher, Sam Cassell, somebody like that.
rewind. You said one Dixon will come?
No. Juan Dixon.
One Dixon will come.
No.
I'm like, what is that? Like two girls in a cup?
No. Yeah. Juan Dixon won a state championship.
Okay, yeah.
2002 NCAA state championship. State championship from national championship for Maryland. Yeah, he played for the Wizards. He had a brief stint. He got kicked out of the league or something like that for being too skinny. I think he was on steroids or some shit like that.
Damn.
Hate to speak ill of him, but yeah, long and short, he was like my favorite player growing up. And they would always have like some Steve Blake or somebody come on that last day of camp, and when they would show up, my shirt would be like Sharpied or I frayed the sleeves or something along those lines. And even though I wasn't the best player at the camp, I was good enough to be noticed, and the fact that I did something custom to my shirt always made people kind of like pay more attention to what I had going. And I wasn't really doing it for the eyes. I just was like, I know I'm gonna get a new shirt next week. Let me have some fun with this one. You know what I mean? And it always bled through. And I always say this, like every time I ever got fly in my life, my problems went away. Like even right now, as I just started like posting and things like that, I'm seeing people come out of the woodwork. And it's crazy because directly after the Super Bowl, when Holmes didn't catch a whatever, it felt like immediately Nike hit me directly after, hey, we got tickets to the All-Star game. You can come if you want to come. I'm like, wow, this guy don't catch a football. And all of a sudden, my life falls back in my hands. It's like crazy, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What would you say separates you and your creative vision from the rest of the fashion world?
I am not like,
What up?
What's up? I'm not, that just threw me off. That's a funny story about him. What you asked me? Hold on. Just took me out, man.
That's what he wanted. Look.
I think we should tell this story, bro. You gonna get mad if I tell the story?
For those of y'all who don't know, OT just walked in the
Yeah. Shout out OT Genesis.
Yo, he put a gun in my head, bro. He did. He put a gun in my head. I said, yo, bro, it's all good. It's all good. And Gervonta called him directly after. He like, yo, that's my man. We don't got, you know what I mean? It's all good.
Same team.
No, and I was telling him that. I'm like, yo, bro, we just chopped it up the Laker game and this, that, and the third. It's crazy, man. But that just threw me off.
Yo, I had no idea, by the way. We're just doing interviews. I had no idea. I thought Stefon Diggs just walked in.
No, it was in the clear the air. I see where he was coming from in the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful nothing happened. You know what I mean? But we was walking, we all leaving the club at the same time. And he, you know what I mean, he trying to find something that's gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have it, you're a man.
That time.
So he reached for one. When he reached for one, I think he reached for the wrong one, and she looked around, and then he reached for the next one. The next one was with me. So when he reached for her, I reached for him. When I reached for him, he reached for free. You know?
Yeah.
He go reach, and when he reached, his man like, yo. He like, nah. He like, yo. I'm like, yo. No bullshit. And I ain't seen him since.
Shit happened like this.
It's only love. It's all love. It's all love.
That's hilarious.
Were you always confident in fashion?
I feel like I just was me, and I didn't care about whatever backlash came because of it. You know what I mean? And it just so happened that I look up one day and the reception was there. And then, like, even me getting the Under Armour situation, when I got the Under Armour situation, they brought me in to do consumer insights. They pulled me out of school because the job I ended up getting required a college degree, but they go back to the drawing board. They revise the requirements for me to be able to get in. When I get in, it was all of these people, because it was like thousands of people that applied for this position. And they like didn't understand why I got it until they met me. And then when they met me, they understood exactly why I was occupying that position. And when I went through the interviewing process, the main thing they wanted to see was my feedback in regard to this product and that product and this product and that product. And I was like, damn, like $1 billion entity is like interested in my point of view? Like, that's fake crazy.
They can't, I was gonna say they can't buy that, but.
Exactly. But they found a way. Right. They found a way to be able to at least lease it. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And at that point in time, I needed that launching pad, so I allowed it to be what it was for about 2 to 3 years. And through that point in time, I ended up signing A$AP Rocky. I signed Gervonta Davis, and I had the option to either lead the company and work with either one of them. And I opted to go with Gervonta Davis. You know what I mean? It was a homegrown situation. Under Armour is also a homegrown situation. And I felt like at that point in time, my lives were so close. We were closer in age. And it just made sense. And we linked up directly after he became champion versus Jose Pedraza and shit like that. That's why you see the next fight with Liam Walsh. I think he fought with the Under Armour patch on his shorts. And that's when it all kind of kicked off in that regard. But Under Armour is the answer to your question. That was the first time I felt like, damn, a company will really put some money behind me. Like that's
it's real now.
Yeah. That shit was different. And it changed the game for me because prior to, I was running around in like the sneaker world, like Wale, Meek Mill, I bought Big Sean to Baltimore with my refund check at that point in time, and we threw a little concert and shit like that. Had Fat Trail open up and King Los and a bunch of different people in that regard. But I was doing all of these different things where it was like this snotty-nosed kid trying to make a way. When I got to Under Armour was the first time it felt like, yo, bro, now the tables turn. If you popping enough, I can get you a deal. Chance.
Because I'm in a position.
Yeah, I can cut a $100,000 check to you. I can cut a $200,000 check to you. Migos, I can pay you to license Dab while Cam is doing his MVP run to the Super Bowl. I can have you come to our corporate party and turn some shit up and put some dollars in your pocket. And the way I really made my bones throughout that situation, even though Under Armour doesn't have nostalgic product like a 1982 Air Force One or a 1985 Jordan 1 or an Adidas Superstar or something like that, I treated it like the land of opportunity. In Rocky's deal, the reason the shit went left is because he wanted to go off and make an album and design a collection, and very similar to how Kanye would do, debut music and debut clothes at the same time.
Smart.
To announce the partnership, he wanted to give public school uniforms away all through New York City. Those kids would then in turn, as you probably know, go to the hype shops, resell their school uniform and shit, gym uniform and shit like that, because he was gonna give them to all the public schools in New York City and ignite like a crazy wave. And he also had, we added this into his deal, it was an incubator program where any brand that Rocky wanted to invest into, because he has this thing called like Rakim Ventures or something along those lines with his name, like venture capitalist type shit. Because he had put on a bunch of brands and he didn't have equity in them. So he got smarter and decided, I'm gonna do this the right way now. We had a part with it. We had a carve out in the contract where any brand that he wanted to invest in, we could match it and give him our infrastructure. So that could have been V-Loan before it went left. That could have been like Midnight Studios before that went left with Shane Gonzalez, or all of these other people. You putting Rocky's eye on that level of like investment, you can't go wrong. And he's gonna stamp it and he's gonna wear it. Like it just didn't make sense. But they didn't want to listen to him, long and short. They had this collection designed by this guy named Tim Coppins, who studied under Ralph Lauren, and they basically just wanted him to be the face of it. He's like, yo, I want to cook. And they really didn't let him cook. So those public school uniforms I'm speaking of never really materialized or nothing along those lines. And I watched a $3 million like wire leave the corporate account, but it was my account. You get what I'm saying? Like I watched the money leave and I watched him go buy a Ferrari and I watched all of these meetings get pushed to like 5 p.m. LA time, which was 8 p.m. East Coast time, and I can't take XYZ girl to dinner until 9:30, and when I'm off this call, it felt like a 15-minute call, because he only gonna give you a little bit of his time. All love to Rocky, he only gonna give you a little bit of his time. You ain't hearing him. I'm not going to waste time on the phone convincing you. And I seen that take place, so when I'm having direct conversations with a guy like that, he just hit me not too long ago telling me he was proud of me and commending my fatherhood journey and things like that, and of course it's mutual love. But I say that to say, seeing something like that happen, where the money leaves your account, it goes to somebody, you see them start making purchases, and they fuck with you, and they think you cool. And I made my bond, I think I was getting to that point, I made my bones by mirroring my seating to that of all of these popular guys and what they would actually wear. If you're on tour right now, you're an artist, let's make you Lil Baby. I know every single day you wake up, you would like to have a fresh pair of socks, a fresh pair of underwear, maybe white beaters or white t-shirts. And I see you training a little bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit of workout clothes, but I'm gonna load you up every tour date at the hotel or I might even ship the shit to the venue. Fresh underwear, fresh socks for you and the team, fresh t-shirts, and them little logo hits come like left and right. You just start seeing them roll in. And what I did at the company, I wouldn't hold my tongue, much like how we were talking in this interview about me not really being good at that. Me coming into the company junior, not having to go through the like hierarchy of corporate America and be tainted through, I would tell them what I really felt in these meetings, coming off the street as a kid, like actually getting fly. I don't really want to talk clothes with people who don't get fly either. That's another thing. It's hard to have a dialogue with somebody.
You're not gonna understand the language I'm speaking.
Don't talk to me, like Jay-Z won't sit around and talk to somebody about bars. Y'all from Buffalo. Conway and them ain't sitting down having conversations with bars with niggas who don't rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not gonna happen. So it's very hard for me to be sitting across from somebody who's trying to tell me what works in the consumer space and they ain't standing in these lines. You know what I mean? They're not really making these purchases. I'm doing it.
It's like talking to a sommelier about your Publix wine or something. It's like
what do we put that up? I got this tattoo. It says, the fear of God and supreme magnitude will take me to the highest of heights, for under his armor I am sealed. I was just trying to excel. And the reason I put supreme in all red was because at the time we was having conversations with James Jebbia about acquiring Supreme. They bring me in. They're like, how can Under Armour seamlessly buy Supreme and it not come off as contrived? I said, put a store in DC or put a store in Baltimore. If you put the store there, it's not gonna look like, oh, we just made this purchase. Here's this Under Armour horseshoe logo directly next to the Supreme logo and we're gonna co-brand it. No, make it authentic. Put it in Fells Point or put it in Georgetown in DC. A lot of skate kids to come in, bring in the community, do some photo shoots. Really DC more than Baltimore. But if you really wanted to own the backyard of Baltimore, put that Supreme store right there in Fells Point and watch it take shape. And then you start to roll a product out. And if something makes sense synergy-wise, something makes sense synergy-wise. At that point in time, I was trying to position the company to become what was the land of opportunity, much like how we talked about earlier, them not having that nostalgic product. And the reason I was putting this shit on my body is because I wanted these people to understand I was dead to fuck serious, bro. Yeah. Even the fear of God right here. I got this tattoo while I was waiting in line back in like the PacSun era of fear of God when it was fog, before Essentials. Before Essentials, they had fog, and he eventually Jerry turned it to Essentials because the fog and fear of God was too close. But I got this tattoo fresh off the line, and I was having conversations with Jerry at the time and seeing his son like any season stuff he needed. Like if he was playing baseball, I'm sending Bryce Harper cleats. If he's playing basketball, I'm sending the Currys, all of the above. And we having dialogue back and forth. And he didn't want any product. He didn't want to be seated anything. He wanted a similar situation to what Kanye had at Adidas at Under Armour. He wanted to be able to own product, make product from scratch. I don't want to wear it unless I designed it. Just let me run. Y'all have all of these MVPs. At the time, it was like Tom Brady, Jordan Spieth, Bryce Harper, Curry back-to-back unanimous, and where was I going with this? Oh, Jerry. Jerry's like, the MVP of the NBA is looked at like corny, and he's a man of God. Man of God, fear of God, let me design. This is before the Air Fear of God won at Nike. And they told him no. And all he wanted to do was rebrand Stephen Curry. And they told him no. That's why you see Curry now, like, Curry brand is its own entity. Part of the reason behind that was because he got frustrated. A repeated level of frustrations, several repeated frustrations led to him having to detach and say, you know what, I want to own my own. This is going to be my subsidiary and I want to own it like this. But when the stock options start plummeting and you owe this guy all of this money, I'm going to just make my exit. I'm going to just do my thing. I'm going to take my likeness with me. Y'all can have them followers or some shit like that, but I'm going to go ahead and head out. Fact of the matter is, he wanted that rebranding opportunity. He ended up going to Nike. Once he got to Nike, they allowed him to do a sneaker, and they kind of gave him the same thing that Kanye had, where it was like, you didn't know when 2 was coming out. You didn't know when the Air Fear God 2 was coming out, like you didn't know when the Yeezy 2 was coming out. And then he went to Adidas, and then you see the revamp now where like all the Adidas basketball footwear is like killing and shit like that. And I think Jerry's now about to make his way back to Nike. So we'll see what happens with Adidas footwear in that regard. But it's just crazy to think about the fact that Stephen Curry could have had Jerry Lorenzo designs all this time and a company just didn't understand. But they also passed on Boost Technology. They also passed on Yeezy when he went there, and they fumbled Rocky. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But throughout that time, I was getting Under Armour tattoos left and right. I don't know where my camera is, but right here at the top of my feet right here, you see the Under Armour right above. These is Air Total Foam Posite Max 2 Dunkers. Nike need to swing these back. These from like 2011. But it's a big shoe from where we come from. Yeah. We call them Dunkins, by the way. Yeah.
I know about this much about fashion.
Oh, okay. But I can talk this shit all day.
Yeah. No, I'm learning right now. You know what I'm saying? Facts. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have of fashion designers?
I can't speak for all of them, but a lot of these guys try to make. You ever been? I don't want to say in legal trouble or nothing like that, but you ever have a conversation with somebody in a different world and they try to make the lingo so complicated for you to not understand and tax you for it?
Try to speak above you.
Yeah, like I have these conversations with lawyers sometimes, and at the derivative of all of this is just strategy. Like if we eliminate the legal jargon, Whatever you go to school to be able to decode and translate and just take it down apples to apples, it's all strategy. So my intentional mind and analytical mind paired with your intentional and analytical mind, you need to take the words that come out of my mouth, put it in legal jargon, but as far as us talking one-to-one, operate like that. If you talking to a 5th grader, we're gonna get the strategy in order, and then you verbalize it the way a lawyer would. Right. But don't talk that shit to me trying to like confuse me and shit like that. They go for real estate, they go for law, they go for fashion. So they use all of these technical terms and try to make you feel like you're on the outskirts, but in reality, it's all about what you wear and how you feel in it. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck? Somebody could look at my fit and say trash. Somebody could look at your fit and say trash.
Garbage.
You get what I'm saying? But as long as you wear it and you feel good in it and that exudes through,
how you rock it.
Yeah, 1,000%. How you wear it and the fact that you wear it because you want to wear it, not because XYZ told you that. That's why a lot of my styling is wardrobe styling anyway, because I want to put you in the most comfortable home. You know what I mean? I want to make sure the clothes fit you. If I'm just throwing outfits on you based on what I like, when you get dressed tomorrow, it's going to look a lot different. You know what I mean? If I'm just styling one, when you get dressed tomorrow, if my name's attached to it, they're going to think I did that too. And I ain't do that.
That's true.
Yeah, I ain't.
Then plus, like, I'd rather produce an album. An experience versus just a single here, and a single there.
Exactly. And you hear producers even like that sometimes, where Dr. Dre won't touch it if he can't mix it.
Yeah, because he wants to have creative control.
Got to.
You know.
Mandatory.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
makes sense.
When working with celebrities and athletes, how do you protect yourself business-wise?
Man, so I had to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? When I was younger, it was a lot more, money was never my motivator. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really about the dollars and cents. It was more about checking the boxes off and making sure I was getting shit done, or we're getting shit done. When I see Gervonta with all of them lights in front of his face and that Saint Laurent Eddie Slimane era jacket is hitting how it's supposed to hit, that's the gratifying factor to me. When I see all of the peers in the space want to go buy that jacket because that jacket matters now, and now Saint Laurent sold out because Gervonta Davis wore it.
I did my thing.
I did my thing. Not knowing that at that point in time, he couldn't afford that jacket, and I was the one who afforded that jacket, and he pulled it from me and was able to wear it. And I'm not saying that because it's been times I ain't have it, he had it. That's like my real brother. So it's like, to see those things actually materialize and then people end up following the trends allowed me to see the proof of concept work. And that go for homeboy as well, that come from where you come from, not come from, you know what I'm saying? But the other homeboy that be catching the football and shit. To see the proof of concept work repeatedly, even knowing that it's just a carbon copy of that of my dreams, and the fact that you could finance it allowed you to purchase what was in my mind. Oh my gosh. But I'll say the work with Gervonta was far more collaborative than my work with other people. Like, he and I would literally have conversations and bounce ideas and things like that, because I think he really, 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 really owned in on all things school of thought Jim Jones that come from like the balling era. You'll see that even like with him walking out at the fight and things like that. He was trying to like capitalize something. You spend time around GG or just have on like old Dipset videos of them running around Harlem and shit like that, running in, taking all the Pellies and thermals and shit like that. He was studying the mannerisms, just trying to get his mind together and shit like that. So me, on the other hand, I'm in the living room of the crib. I'm putting on like Nego Bape TV from like mid-2000s, where they walking through Nego crib and you seeing all of the different prints and all of the different sneaks and shit laid out. My inspiration was totally different. But even if you talk to Jim, you'll hear him talk about like the leaders at that point in time was like Kanye and Pharrell, and then him. Me, I was more Kanye and Pharrell, but I had a respect for what Jim brought to the table too. So when I linked with Gervonta Davis, it really just kind of like put it all together, and you know, we built something magical. It sucks to see it in the predicament it's in right now, but I hope and pray that brother get his shit together.
Do you ever feel like loyalty gets tested in those environments?
Oh, 1,000%. I got it tattooed on my chest, wealth and loyalty, because wealth was supposed to be the ultimate goal that we all pursue to make sure our families never want for nothing, and you remain loyal to all of those who were loyal to you throughout the entire journey. I feel like, and somebody just commented under my picture yesterday or the day before, something along those lines, and said, will you and Gervonta ever be friends again? And I think to myself, like, yo, bro, I ain't crossed me. You know, where my camera at?
It's not my bird.
Close up. This one? I ain't crossed me. You know what I mean? I ain't crossed me. My name ain't Tim Hardaway, it's Chris Blake. You know what I mean? You know what happened, champ. You know what I mean? So when I think about loyalty, I think about the fact that we built something so beautiful, and to watch it all crumble, like the way it's my shit ain't crumbling because I separated. You know what I mean? But to see him in the predicament that he's in right now, really, it make my heart ache. You know what I mean? I even think about Calvin and all that he sacrificed and everything moving forward in that regard. It's like Calvin was one of the ones who seen it from the infancy when we first linked. Yeah. He didn't really understand it. He didn't want Gervonta to have any tattoos, like none. And at the time when I met him, he had a couple, but what we did, and Calvin thanks me for it even to this day, where it's like we paired everything that come from him in West Baltimore and all of that street edge and all of the above with that of like something skater and like living in the realm of like Travis Barker. But when it comes to me, you can't have a conversation with Gervonta Davis where he tells you about famous stars and straps and Travis Barker's TV show that used to be on like MTV or VH1, whatever Viacom situation he had, and growing up paying attention to it and things like he couldn't even tell you who Famous Stars and Straps is, but he knows the aesthetic that he wants. Me, I know the intricacies of all of that shit. So when he has an idea, I'm able to bring it to life because I know why you think what you think. I know where it comes from. I know the origin. And that's why when it comes to this shit, like, you could have on that SB Dunk, but you don't know what it is. You can't name it. And I'm not saying that to like put me at a higher level than you. I'm just saying don't forget the dynamic in which this thing comes to life. I think in the boxing world, he's very much like Kyrie Irving, and he'll tell you this too. He's much like Kyrie Irving in the sense that I'm gonna give you whatever it is that you give me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a counter for everything that you stepping forward. I got a counter for that. I got a counter for your counter. I got a counter for your counter for your counter. And I think that kind of works in his regular life where he's able to improvise on the fly. But when it comes to like actually doing the sit down homework, Gervonta not about to sit down and watch 30 hours of film on goddamn nobody. Yeah. Absolutely nobody. He might watch you once. Kenny and Calvin are the ones sitting down analyzing the film to prepare him for whatever he's about to go see. And in my world, I'm the Kenny and Calvin. Okay. I'm the one doing the homework to prepare you for what you're about to see. Exactly. Yeah. No, bro, we're not getting the tees from Hot Topic and Target. We're going to Vintage by round 2. Why? These shirts is old. No, bro, this is the realm in which we got to travel. Watch how it transcends. These t-shirts gonna last. These t-shirts make sense. The more holes, the better. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then he understood it. And then it was a point in time we felt like Chrome was dead. We went and I had to teach him, like, look, it ain't about everything you see graphic-wise where they burning it out and mixing it with the Amiri. No knock to Amiri, love the Nima. But it's a whole nother world in which they create or crafting. Because Chrome Hearts is a jewelry company. They make clothes, but they are a jewelry company first. Yeah. The reason that the resale value on that clothing is so high is because not only are they using premium materials, but they're stripping every element of quote unquote metal and replacing it with sterling silver. So if you buy a pair of chrome jeans, yeah, you see the numbers and all of the above, but that's actual sterling silver. It's a chrome hat. It's this button at the top is made from sterling silver. So as silver goes through the rise, if we went in the war age, I give you this hat, you cut the shit off, I could at least sell the silver. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Changes the garment. Completely changes the garment.
1,000%. They revolutionized it. They take those vintage Levi's off. They strip the Levi Strauss buttons with that of Chrome Hearts buttons that are made of silver.
All the rivets and all.
That's really like 4 rings. Those buttons, if it's 5, it's like 5 rings. That could have been a necklace. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like they just shooting in the dark. It's like finely crafted jewelry masked as clothing, if you really want to be technical.
I was saying like trinkets because they have like ashtrays and whiskey glasses.
All types of accessories.
Wallet chains.
1,000%.
So now let's address the situation.
We can talk about whatever.
It's going to get a little hot in here. You know what I mean?
It's all good. It's all love.
Couple of my Buffalo guys in here with me. We watched a...
Shout out to Buffalo.
Yeah, we watched a wide receiver out of there by the name of Stefon Diggs. You know, almost take our team to the promised land, as he just did with the New England Patriots.
Almost don't count. I can't say much, so I'm going to pick my spots, but almost don't count. You know what I mean? I told him that too one time. Because he kept saying that he was a winner and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah. Because he kept naming all these guys. I'm like, he's a leader, but he's not a winner. And he was like, what? Don't leading mean winning? I'm like, nah, nigga, you ain't got no chip. You ain't win. Brady's a winner. He's a winner.
Sorry, Buffalo.
You can win. No,
Bills fans are
win.
You
gotta win. And that's not like a hard critique. It's just it's life. Keep trying until you win. But if you don't win, how can you be called a winner? You know,
I would actually dispute that. I would say it depends on how much you value winning and where do you value it, right? Like everybody that made it into the league are winners. When you're able to win 13 of 16 games, you're a winner. Not everything is going to go in your favor, and this is an entire team effort. There's 3 separate units out on that field, and then you got coaching, right? You got an offense, you got a defense, you got special teams. If special teams fumbles the ball at the end of the game and you lose, but your offense put up 42 points, it's just the other offense put up 45. You can't fault the offensive unit. You got to fault the defensive unit.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Because they allowed 45. So that's how I'll go about it, because you can't, we watch Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen put up crazy numbers every game, but if Pat Mahomes goes up and does more numbers and that defense can't intercept that pass, it's game over.
And to that I say, the second you decide to be a part of a team, you're no longer deemed an individual.
Absolutely.
So you forfeit your ability to win as an individual. The only thing that matters when you commit to that team is the aftermath of which we bring together as a unit. What we put on the board, that's the only thing that matters. So yes, you could be a winner in your family. You could be a winner in whatever school you come from. The second that you decide to be a part of this organization, in order for you to win in this organization, everybody got to be hitting on cylinders. Special teams got to be hitting. Defense got to be hitting. Offense got to be hitting. That's the only way we can all win. Talk to Brady. Talk to Gronk and them. I'm a line though. I love Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah, as long as we have
Gabe Davis too. I love him too.
Shout out Gabe Davis.
A lot of love.
He's just saying, for lack of a better term, don't drop the ball.
Oh no. Yeah. Or around that nigga don't drop the soap neither.
Tell him.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't. How did the relationship start between the two of you?
I told you, when I get fly, all my problems go away. So I was fly, and I ended up. I had a conversation with him at gallery department. I was with a photographer, my boy, who's a photographer, and he was hanging out with him at the same time. I guess he was taking photos of him. We met at a gallery department, and it just so happened that we sat there like it was our living room for like 2 hours or some shit like that. And yeah, he started picking my brain about different pieces. He saw Gervonta's outfit for that. Who was he about to fight, bro? Who was he about to fight? I want to say it was Rolly.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Rolly Romero. The press conference for Rolly Romero. The press conference leading up to Rolly Romero. Yes, exactly. The press conference leading up to Rolly Romero, I did these like custom carpenters for Gervonta to walk into the fight. I paired it with the Burberry Supreme box logo tee, a St. Michael like reversible jacket, half satin, half suede or something like that. Shout out to Justin Reed for delivering it to me. And I brought all of that to New York. We put a good fit together. I made a Static Passion fitted for him. Static Passion is my line. Yep. But I made a fitted for him and all of the above, and we pieced it up. He went. The look got a lot of love on like Complex and all of the different media outlets and shit like that. And one of the first things Diggs said to me was like, I know he ain't do that by himself or something along those lines. And he was like tapping my shoulder for the help. And he had a bunch of stuff coming up different, like, as he was trying to like make his name in fashion, he was trying to like start making appearances on like Hype Beast and High Snob, and about to really put some dollars and cents in the PR to kind of like make his name in that space, and wanted my help as he walked toward that spotlight to make sure that I had my hands on that aesthetic. And I just did a good job of making sure my hands didn't end up anywhere else.
You
keep laughing, man.
Yeah, because you be throwing them punches and they're perfectly. Every ending has a punchline.
I know you were.
I mean, it's just coming through. See, we were having that
trying.
Fab and Lloyd Banks conversation earlier. There's a punchline every ending here. He said he keeps laughing like if the shit ain't funny. You know what I mean? I'm an honest dude. I'm realistic with it.
Facts.
But like obviously, with fashion, you really changed the direction that he was headed.
I feel like I changed, and I say this humbly, and I met with the brand, so I'm not even saying this from a place of like ignorance or bias in any form of fashion, but I feel like he and I specifically in that regard, we brought ASICs to the forefront. Like nobody was doing it.
New life.
I even heard Jim Jones and loved the gym because I just big Jim up and I got a lot of love for Jim. Jim was, I'll get into that later, but I got a lot of love for Jim. Jim was on some platform talking about how people started buying them because they were like the takedown version of whatever Balenciaga was doing at the time, because Demna had a silhouette that was like very similar to the Asics 1130. And that was like the furthest thing from what we had going on. In reality, what happened was I kind of got fed up with sneaker culture. And I really just wanted to dial it back to like 1985 Jordan 1s. And if I was really gonna wear a dad sneaker, I was gonna wear a dad sneaker. And Diggs and I started buying the Asics 1130s. I was buying them off Amazon at that time for like $30, $40. And they was showing up to my doorstep. Shout out to Fashion Geek Zoe from Ghetto Runways. That's my boy. He hit me around that time, and he was able to cop on he could stamp it, the Amazon link as well, because I was sending it to people, and we was buying them shits for like $40, $50. I was buying them like 3 or 4 pairs at a time. And when Holmes would be in LA, the football nigga, when he'd be in LA, I go drop him off a pair or 2 pairs and stuff like that. But long and short, the whole goal was kind of like a middle finger to that of sneaker culture at that time, because I was buying like a lot of SBs at that point in time. Tiffany's, Stussys, and he was buying like Tom Sachs and the same shit, Tiffany's, Stussys, P-Rods, with the dunks, all types of crazy stuff. But it was really just the fact that when you really dialed it down to such a minimal sneaker, something that was so like close to that of a Walmart Avia, you really let the fit speak. And we were shopping heavily at Manhattan in New York at that period in time. And Joe, who runs Manhattan, would always be just, because Asics is huge in Japan, and it's a Japanese brand based store. So when you are running in the realm of like H. Lorenzo and Manhattan, and they got all these Japanese brands around, you really kind of like in America, you take it back to probably like 2005, Roshi Run. I'm hyping. Probably like 2010, 2011, Roshi Runs, or the 90s. You think about like Air Max 95 and shit like that. That's like directly correlated to that of American culture. Asics in Japan is like that.
Really?
Yeah. So when you pair in Japanese fashion, it was almost like, it's right there. If you're pulling, you might as well pull from the culture in totality. So to see Asics start popping up in like crazy colorways that the girls start migrating to. I'm talking about the big butt girls. Mm. They start wearing Asics and shit like that. And the next thing you know, they making them in like kid sizes. I remember even talking to sneaker stores out here like, hey, you know where I can get a pair of Asics? They're like Fleet Feet or Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that. And even they didn't have them. Now you look at all of these sneaker stores, resale stores, they're struggling to get the J's off, and they got Asics in the stores. Yeah. Like, all the resale shops.
I even saw like Saucony come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop off with those subs.
Man, everything now. Brooks running. What's another? On running. Like, it's so many different places to go get running shoes and shit like that now. But anyway, Hoka, another one. But at that point in time, Asics taps his shoulder for a collab. We go take the conversation with Asics. We do a photo shoot. And at the photo shoot, before we even did the shoot, we had a meeting, and we talked through all of the silhouettes that we liked and things like that. And at this point in time, he had asked me to oversee collaborations for him. And I never wanted to be like a full-time employee or anything like that, just because I knew what that control felt like coming out of the Gervonta situation. And I wanted to be as free as possible. It's almost like jumping out of a bad relationship and all of a sudden you getting tied down again. Like, it's like, nah, I want to date. You know what I mean? And it's almost like.
So did he.
Can't just rebound.
See? Now you're funny. Exactly. And on the Gervonta side of things, it was like, it was almost like if Rich Paul never had the opportunity to have more clients than that of LeBron. So when I was able to spread my wings a little bit and get from under the thumb, I wanted to be able to talk to whoever I wanted to talk to. And I didn't want to be exclusively tied to any entity or a team. And at this point in time, Adidas is hollering at me. John Wexler was like my idol in the space. He's the one that did the Kanye deal. At this point in time, while Diggs is trying to recruit me and Gervonta is trying to put me on salary, Adidas reached out for me to replace John Wexler. So and it was crazy. Like, I would have been, and this is around the same time that Ye had to blow up with them, and The guy Torben Schumacher would have been my direct report by way of the hierarchy in Adidas company at that time. And John Wexler had left to go to Shopify. And I would have been probably the token black guy to have the conversations with Ye at that point in time, so he wouldn't have to talk directly to Torben Schumacher. But I feel like I dodged a bullet. And after tatting all this shit in my skin, I didn't really want to go jump to some corporate gig. And then the salary that they was offering me, I made off a couple of partnerships just off the Rolly Romero fight with Gervonta Davis. So once I got my salary money, I'm like, no. It don't even make sense to go over there. Part of the reason why I left corporate was because of how much money the agencies were making outside of the company. I remember one agency came in and they wanted to do this crew collection at the time, and they wanted to own the home court of Maryland DMV because they were working with Under Armour. And Under Armour wanted to do this crew collection because it was called the Crew Collection. And at the time, Shy Glizzy was my man. Brent Fayaz and I was, I didn't know him, but I met him through this partnership. I think I just DM'd him because I liked the song or something like that. And Goldlink and I had the same St. Laurent rep. So I was able to get pretty much any and everybody on the phone. And the creative agency came and I found out how much they were making. And they were the ones asking me to make the call. So I'm like, y'all getting paid XYZ six-figure number. I'm the one calling. I'm the one leveraging my relationships. I'm the one connecting the dots in the situation. I'm going to be the one. And when they bring the guys through, I got to play basketball with them. I got to like take them to eat. I got to be the token black guy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Rapport.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was all of that. Or even like at Coachella and they being scared and shy of talent and they won't record for that of the Under Armour story. I got to grab the phone. Hey, I'm with XYZ at the Under Armour. It's just nonsense, bro. But anyways, once you figure out your power and your worth, man, you gotta tax their ass, bro. That's 1,000%. So what scared me the most was being in a situation where I wasn't getting my maximum, and I didn't want that to happen again.
So where did it go wrong?
It went wrong when people don't have no damn self-control, bro. I feel like which situation? Gervonta situation or
Diggs?
Okay, that's a specific question. I give you a specific answer because I got legal shit going on.
Okay.
Yeah, he got like a lot of counts against him.
Yeah, a lot
of counts.
So
it baffles me that
there was some serious allegations made. The internet goes up in a frenzy, right? And you claim.
Oh, before you even get to that, I just want to touch on something. Certain aspects of the narrative that people have taken to are quote unquote alleged. Certain aspects of the situation or narrative that people have taken to are matters of fact. What is a matter of fact is that there was an attack on my life at Central Apartments on 755 South Spring Street,
which there's a video.
It's on video.
Yeah.
Derez Marshawn Diggs, Charlie Chap Jordan, Corey Darnell Mack make an attempt on my life. Derez Marshawn Diggs is the brother to Stefon Diggs. Seen at the Super Bowl most recently, seen alongside him training. They share the same last name. He even goes by Marshawn Diggs and doesn't go by Derez because Marshawn is also the guy you're referencing's middle name as well. 2/3 of their name are mirrored exactly the same. The Charlie Chap Jordan dude is someone who, for matter of fact, has been arrested on several charges of drugs, several charges of guns. He's also been present on the boat when homeboy was seen passing out an unknown substance. We'll just call it an unknown substance on that boat. When the guy you're referencing was in Houston, he took to the field when they played the Buffalo Bills for the reunion game or whatever you call that, and had free Chap on his face, eye black. When that happened, people started to ask questions, who's Chap? Who's Chap? Who's Chap? Chap is Charlie Chap Jordan. Once his name was identified, they say, hey, that's the guy in the video. So the fact that these dudes are walking around the Patriots facility, whatever facility is about to be his new home or something along those lines, baffles me, seeing as though that aspect of it is not alleged. They have never faced, Derez Diggs was convicted, charged and convicted. He didn't give up the other names. If you watch the video, he signals like this with his hand, and the other two follow up. I'm actively in court right now, directly with Stefon Diggs, and I'm actively in court right now with the building. There's video of these guys walking directly in the front of the building, the front door, wide open. You're supposed to have a keypad in order for that to happen. I lived on a floor that requires exclusive access. If you live on the 16th floor, you can't access the 18th floor. If you live on the 18th floor, you can't access the 20th floor. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The only areas that are common to everybody are that of the common areas. So we have certain codes that allow you to get in the building, get to the pool, get to the gym, and then everything else, exactly. And then everything else, like my code, if I live on the 16th floor, it will work for my unit, it will work for the common areas, and it will work for the 16th floor. I can't access those other floors. So the fact that they were at my floor, on my floor, for that of like 50 minutes to an hour, sitting outside my door, pacing up and down the floor, it ain't nothing but 8 to 10 units on the floor. I had 2 neighbors that have come forth saying that they went to security, told security that there's guys that look like hobos on our floor, you should look into it, and told me that had they looked into it, it wouldn't have happened. Not to mention when it occurred, one of the employees came up to my floor, prepared to open my door with a key in hand while I'm being held hostage by this elevator. Let's make it 3 elevators. 1 elevator there, 1 elevator here, 1 elevator here. After they stomped my face in, after they grabbed me out the elevator by my ankles, robbed me, all of the above, they got my belongings. And the crazy thing about, I'm gonna get back to it. Yeah. The crazy thing about it is they stole an orange toiletry go-yard bag from me. Part of the reason why I put the ICG on this bag and it's orange is because I'm in court so much these days. It's like I, Christopher Griffith, vow to tell the whole truth. Nothing but the truth, so help you God. That type of situation. But anyways, back to the topic. They snatched my orange go-yard. When they snatched my orange go-yard, it's nothing but chrome, all types of nonsense in it. They took that same one-of-one chrome heart shit and handed it directly to him. I'm watching this dude for the next 2 years walk Paris Fashion Week, walk Monday Night Football, walk Thursday Night Football, be outside in the offseason wearing pieces that I know for a fact, one of one, are mine. I have receipts to prove it. So when it comes to that, that's not alleged. But let's get back to the elevator. I'm posted up by the elevator. They telling me they're gonna blow my head off. They telling me they're gonna stab me in my neck, all of the above. And even though I don't see a knife, I don't think after you just stomp my face in, you're gonna use your pinky. I'm right there. Derez Diggs goes downstairs. Marshawn Derez Diggs goes downstairs. I don't know what he tells this man, but a leasing agent then comes back up to my floor, prepared to open my door with a key in hand. Mind you, I just told you, I use access codes for everything. I don't even have a key to my own apartment. You know what I mean? I've never, ever used a physical key to turn and enter my apartment. Never happened in my life. This guy gets off the elevator having not called my phone, even though it was stolen at that point in time and they have it, having not called my phone, having not texted my phone, having not reached out to me, having not spoke to me, prepared to open my door with a key in hand because Derez Diggs told him so. And I got to process in my head how that comes to life. Like, this is the same staff that if I have too many packages, they want my ID as collateral for the bell cart. And I don't get it back until I bring the bell cart back. Right. Meanwhile, these dudes can loiter my floor for that of an hour, pacing back and forth, pacing back and forth. The first thing they say when I get off the elevator is, what's up with all that chrome shit? And it baffled me, the fact that it happened at my crib. If there's supposed to be floor-specific access, that's damn near, in my head, trauma-wise, that's damn near like a home invasion. You get what I'm saying? The second I get off on the floor that's supposed to be my safe haven, nobody can access this floor without permission, without an ID exchange. And I watched the company, I think it's like RFC Management or Central Apartments or some garbage bullshit that they on. These people have said everything from, oh, they were on a self-guided apartment tour.
Self-guided.
With no ID exchange and no vacancies on the. Yo,
is there a log of this?
When all these people had to do was say, I'm sorry, y'all, be careful moving into central apartments all over the world, champ. It take a lot out of me. Just thinking about how many times my child has been with me on that elevator. The hat that they beat off of my head, I got like photos of my kid wearing the hat backwards the same way I'm wearing the hat backwards in that same elevator, facing them same doors, bro. By the grace of God, my baby wasn't with me that day. By the grace of God. And I've watched people who I love have like, or had love for, take the stand in depositions and try to bash my name and tell lies, all to like align with some narrative of the rich and famous. And I really don't understand where it comes from, simply because what do you benefit by aligning with somebody just because they rich or famous? They're not giving you no money. And I know it for a fact because when I was working, I had to fight tooth and nail to get what I was owed. You know what I mean? So I know it ain't no business relationship there. It's a popularity contest, which goes back to my point earlier about all of a sudden the girl break up with him and he don't catch a football and my phone ring again. And you wonder why I only want to hang out with my children. The world is fickle, bro. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with that, but I do got something to do with the fact that these kids are living and breathing, and if I can give them anything like that keeps them from having to go through what I went through, I do it twice over. You know what I mean? I do it 4 times over.
So did that, what occurred in the elevator, was that in direct response to the allegations made against him?
I'm of the belief that they came and stole my phone because I had proof on my phone to validate exactly what the world now knows as, you know, public knowledge.
Yeah.
That is quote unquote alleged. I can't speak to it directly just because of the fact that we got an active lawsuit going on.
Yeah.
I will say that I have seen the claims that Nigel King has brought forth. I do know that in the attack on his life, Stefon Diggs is cited. Charlie Chap Jordan is also cited. Them the same 2 people that came and tried to unalive me.
Showed up on my floor.
They on my floor. They on video. They still wear the same hairstyles. Like, I know a lot of dudes with braids. They change their hair all the time. You might have, you know what I mean, gangsters. You might go straight backs. You might go individuals. Holmes keep the same braids every single time. Every time I seen him in a Buffalo uniform, standing next to him was Charlie Chap Jordan, same braids as the elevator video. Every time I seen him in a Patriots uniform, standing next to him is Charlie Chap Jordan with the same braids as the elevator video. Marshawn still got the same bum-ass bush as the same elevator video. You get what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. And then I went to court. No, when I went to court, they called me the day before court when the state was pressing charges against him, and I guess I was their lead witness. They called me to say, if you don't come, we're gonna arrest you. So I showed up. And when I show up, they said, it's the man who attacked you in this courtroom today or something along the lines. I pointed at it. I said, man, yeah, right there in that bum-ass suit. Or that same cheap suit. And I ain't cussing court. I think I said the cheap suit or something along those lines.
Shitty-ass break.
Yeah, we talking about bums, bro. We talking about dudes that loiter my... How can you align? And it baffles my head, bro. And you about to... Yo, bro, stop me if I go too far. Yeah. Real shit. It baffles me to be in a situation where, even right now in this very moment, he's invited to go play on a platform so big where he's aligned with the Michael Rubins and the Jay-Z's of the world, not even considering the fact that he got all of this going on. It's certain commonalities that just exists constantly between all of these different cases. If this man just got attacked and beaten by the same 2 people plus 8 in his case, and he said they were showing up to his house and all types of stuff, and they couldn't get him, so they beat him down in the club. But these are the same 2 out of 3 people that showed up at my house. Yeah. And they took
coincidences.
Bro, they took the stolen jewelry directly to him and he put it on his body. I ain't never seen somebody so audacious in my life. And I've been around people who have made, let's say, not the best decisions in life. You don't take somebody's stuff and then go wear it on a public platform.
Take pictures.
Yeah, who even does that? That let me know, like, it's a certain level of just macho man energy that you exude simply because of what's in your bank account. I don't really operate like that. And what I gotta do is make sure that I feel comfortable in my skin when I wake up in the morning. And I got a family to protect. I got a name to protect. I'm not gonna be thrown in a trick bag after surviving the things that I've already survived, bro. Like, yeah, no, it ain't gonna go like that. You know?
So when the general public sees somebody like Stefon Diggs, he's got this baby mama, this baby mama, this baby mama. I can't say it enough times. He's got all the girls. They tend to believe it's got to be bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he clearly is in love with women. So we won't see anything about him switching to the other side.
I can't speak to the optical view of what people see as this ladies' man. What I can speak to is, and I'm gonna take it off of him, because of legal purposes.
Yeah.
But I will say that there are, and I don't know this by experience, I just know this as common knowledge. I've heard a lot of stories about down low men. I don't think that they're posting the men they like.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're not all very feminine.
Yeah, I don't think that that's the case. People can infer what they want to infer. At the end of the day, I mean, I've seen things on that account that I've questioned. I've seen halter tops that have like elastic straps that I know come from the women's section. I've seen choice fashion decisions that I could look at and say, hey, that's skeptical. And I'm not talking about him specifically, lawyers. I am specifically speaking on that of, let's move on.
But then see when situations happen like that, they tend to come to you. Yeah. Right now it's like, well, Chris is gay. Yeah. You know, he has to be gay or else, you know, or now Gervonta Davis is starting to say shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he jumped out there and I don't even know why he did that. He mentioned, first of all, he introduced me to Two Fly because Two Fly did the uniform for him. And I would have never known Two Fly had it not been for him making that introduction. And I have nothing but respect for Two Fly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And his brand Vertebrae and, you know, all of the work that he's doing right now with Future and Future's partnership with Louis Vuitton. And I think that's great for Fly. I think that's amazing. Coming from the Young Thug tree, coming from the Lil Baby tree, it is what it is. He mentioned Weezy.
Weezy out of here.
Yeah, he mentioned, Gervonta did. I've never met Weezy a day in my life. I've never in my life met Weezy. I think he get fly. I think he picks out clothes well, and I think most producers do. Back to that intentionality. I be feeling like the producers be flyer than the rappers. But even just back to that, I can't speak to none of that. And
no. But what I'm saying to you is, how did that make you feel knowing that you're a father, you have children, and people start putting that narrative on you?
I know for a fact that there is not a gay man on earth that can be like, oh yeah, I've been with him. And I find security in that alone. If you find one, let me know. But I know it don't exist, so it ain't really a lot of back and forth conversation. It's the equivalent of me saying, hey, Danza, you're in Atlanta right now. You'd be like, bro, there's something wrong with him. Like, I'm not in Atlanta. Like, it's not even a good joke.
Yeah, facts.
And I'm not homophobic. Like, I got a pretty girl. A lot of pretty girls have, like, you know, gay friends and shit like that. Yeah. I don't have no problem with them. They respect my boundaries. You take it too far, you're going to catch some distance. Like, it just is what it is. Same thing with Holmes. He didn't even get to, quote unquote, can I say this? He didn't even get to walk toward that of, he walked toward what he was trying to accomplish in that moment and was unsuccessful. So even in that moment, he got his hand smacked. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it is what it is.
But it's so like dealing with that. Look, just so you know, for reference, at any given moment that you feel like something may have gone a little too far, you don't want to discuss. We're not one of those platforms that will sit there and give you the opportunity to say, hey, let me send this over to you. Yeah. And you can send it over to your attorneys and whatever you want to remove. We're not, we don't go and try to ruin people's lives.
I think,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm comfortable. I want to be very careful with the words that I use in regard to him simply because of the fact that
there's an ongoing situation. Yeah. But it is tough to, I would feel like the harder part is having that conversation be present on the internet when you have children.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another reason why I spoke up. It was hard to speak up because I knew what the attachment would be to that of the claim.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially providing my sexuality and the fact that I'm not aligned with what he was trying to align me with.
Right.
In that moment, or try me in a regard that I felt comfortable with. But I also knew that I had a due diligence that I had to fulfill. I had to at least say what the hell was going on.
Clear the air.
Yeah, I had to. It's hard, you know what I mean? It's hard to see that free chap shit on the screen, knowing after the fact who this chap individual was, and your face gets stomped in, and you're dealing with daily headaches and PTSD in regard to elevators and large apartment buildings and feeling like you howling at the moon all because of a situation where somebody's famous. Oh, they could do no wrong. Seeing somebody walk around and you're one of one joy. That's like right now, you got them Balenciagas on. We was just talking about it. You know what I mean? And you put the fuck on them. You put fuck Balenciaga on that. You know what I mean? If I seen him walking around in that same shoe and I seen you with a black eye, right, I would connect dots and say, hey, that was his shoe. Why he got that on? That ain't right. I would do that. So to see him operating in the same quarters as like all of these different individuals that I know, well, I would think wouldn't align with something along those lines, or a crime so
egregious.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you get to roam free while I feel unsafe in my own home. So
I'm dealing with the world looking at, you gotta think, bro, the situation, the video went public before I could even tell my parents.
Oh, shit.
Like my mom called me because she seen it on TMZ. Gervonta was locked up when the video came out. He called me from the cell. Even when I was in Maryland and the situation went down, when they threw me out the crib and stuffed me in a car where I didn't know my end destination, I ain't had no shoes on my feet, bro. I'm shoeless. I didn't know what the end destination of the car was. I didn't know if I was about to get trafficked. I didn't know shit. Car ends up taking me to the airport, and the number one thing I do, I look, because I had a round trip flight, I go to my email and I'm able to show them my reservation, and they got me on the first thing smoking home. But I went home with no shoes on my feet. My flight wasn't booked for Tuesday. I went home on that Monday. I couldn't even, and another reason why I believe they took my phone was because, like, again, I say I had the evidence, but that would have shown that I was still at his house. My assistant and my business partner had my location at that point in time to see that I had made my way back to California by Monday night. So my flight wasn't even supposed to go home to LA until Tuesday. My intention that Monday was to go see Gervonta at the Four Seasons in Baltimore because he had just got put on house arrest or something along those lines. And I was going to visit my boy. Come to find out, this shit happened. The first thing I do is go home. After the fact, he had to go to jail and he had to sit for a minute. And when he sat down and the video went public, I don't know if the jail get the news first. You know how that people say things like that.
Yeah.
But he called me immediately after and just told me, like, we got to get through this. Don't even sweat that shit. Like, it is what it is. We're going to figure it out when I get out. And we at a point in our lives right now where it don't get no higher. Everything that we wanted, we could get. And it's like, I was telling you earlier, I would have like a Nigo Bape TV playing on in the background. Nigo was designing his human-made uniform for the next fight. I think this is the Ryan Garcia fight where he had the purple shorts or whatever. But yeah, we working with Steven Victor. We working with Nigo and the uniform and shit like that. Dreams is really coming through. And Gervonta told me from the cell, he's like, yo, bro, we at a point where we at the top of the mountaintop. We got two options. We either fall the fuck off or we start flying on niggas. And the option that I chose and was migrating toward was flying on niggas. The reason that situation ended up going left, I mean, we can finish what you want to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I guess my last question to that, because there's a lot that we can't discuss, and that's perfectly fine.
Sure.
Would you ever consider, or have you ever considered, solving things with him privately?
Diggs.
Yes.
There was a point in time where I wanted justice in maximum form. And in my head at that point in time, justice in maximum form meant for him to have to face the consequences that come behind the actions that were exerted in order for me to have to walk around feeling how I feel every single day now. Today, I feel like that, but I am open to a conversation in the regard of peace. I'll say that.
Okay. Now, what about Gervonta?
Gervonta,
because I still hear from your tone that you still have a lot of love for him.
It's too much time spent. You know what I mean? I can't look at his resume. Anybody who know me know. It's too much time spent. And people call me even when he took the Jake Paul fight. You know what I mean? They're like, yo, bro, how you feel about, you know what I mean, your legacy crumbling and this, that, and the third. And when I started getting calls about like my legacy looking a certain way, I was like, damn, like people do directly correlate like that of everything that he built with what we built. You know what I mean? And I think he kind of looks at it that way too. Not necessarily in the ring, but I definitely will say that we were dealing with, you know, walking into the limelight together. You got to think directly when he became champion. When I was pitching him to Under Armour, he had like very low follower count. It might have even been less than 100,000. He might have had like 60,000 followers. It's a different day now. And at that point in time, like I remember, you know, financially he was fucked up. He had just got out the Floyd situation. He was trying to like spread his wings. And the Pedraza fight, a lot of people know, was supposed to be or is alleged to be like the setup fight. That was supposed to be something that was supposed to take him out of the game until he cracked them ribs and that boy folded like a pamphlet. And now you gotta talk to him. You know what I mean? So I can't shortchange any of the success that we had. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like it sucks that it ended the way that it ended, seeing as though, you know, we were on the cusp of something so great. And I honestly feel like with his background being that of the group home, he always felt like anything that ever prospered around him would leave him. Just from that like abandonment as a kid. Yeah. And it's definitely a sense of self-sabotage involved.
And we see that with a lot of boxers.
I think we see it with him right now.
Yeah.
It just the spiral effect. You know what I mean? Like, I know that girl that he's in trouble with right now. I told him not to mess with that girl that he's in trouble with in this very moment. I told him that was a poor decision. And the crazy thing about that is Nigel getting beat up in homeboy world of things, and the attack on his life that involved two of three people that were involved in the attack on my life. That's the same venue that Gervonta got in trouble at, Tootsie's in Miami. Same shit. It just so happens that one is on camera and one is not on camera.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Which is also crazy to me.
Yeah, and one was followed all along. We got to do this alley, do this alley. Yeah.
But this dude get beat by 13 people, 10 people. I don't want to quote the number because it's legal or whatever the case is, but it's a lot of people involved in that case. And it was, quote unquote, a lot of people involved in the beating that took place on him. So it is what it is. It's just funny to me that one is on camera and one isn't at such an establishment like Tootsie's. Right. But I wish the best for Gervonta Davis. I don't necessarily know if I feel comfortable spreading the intricacies of how it all went left.
Yeah.
I will give you a version of what happened, and that is just as simple as he was influenced by somebody who was governing his finances to believe that I was bad for him. Not that I was doing anything financially sour toward him, because it wasn't, I don't control your money.
That you weren't like a lucrative.
Basically saying, if you give him what he's asking for, basically encouraging the trauma, if you will. The pieces in which he needed around him to monitor the quote unquote handlers around him that had been placed, that person, that handler, saw me as a threat. Saw me as a threat to the scam that was being ran and the scam that is currently being ran, which is why he's out of retirement. It's the same scam that was ran that's got Floyd about to fight how many times? Is it next year or this year?
Yeah.
Is it next year or this year? This year.
Yeah.
How many times Floyd fighting this year? Is it three fights? Is it 3 fights?
I'm not sure how many fights, but I know he is fighting.
He got Mike Tyson. He got Pacquiao.
Oh, that's right.
And it's one more. I think he announced another one. I want to say it's like 3 more fights. But did you hear about the Al Haymon situation?
No.
Did you hear about his suit against Showtime, Floyd? So Floyd has a suit against Showtime right now where he's claiming that roughly about $350 to $400 million was misallocated. And he's suing Showtime because they allowed Al Haymon to allocate the funds. If you have a problem with $400 million being missing, and you got a net worth, I'm sorry, not a net worth, you have a career earnings number that sits in the realm of like $1 billion to like 1.1 billion or something along the lines. I know they say like Floyd had $1 billion career earnings or something like that. So if 40% of what you made is gone, and that's the gross number, we're not even talking the net. If 40% of the gross number that you made is gone, and this is the guy that allegedly bought your planes and was your financial advisor and your contract lawyer and your promoter, hello, you coming out of retirement. Why else would he say, oh, this is not an exhibition, it's a real fight? And then you see Gervonta Davis, all love and respect. You see him, oh, I'm done with the sport. You done with the sport when you think you're 100 million, 200 million up. Right. Until you find out
that you're not actually.
Exactly. And I will say this, bro. Every dollar that I ever received from Gervonta Davis via a wire always came from Haymon Development. It never once was like Gervonta Bryant Davis or any. Even when I sent him money, I sent him. We did some partnerships or something like that where I had to wire him money. It was like this elementary school account. It felt like it was like little such and such. Yeah, like he was living through his inner child or something along those lines. But even that account got funneled back to Haymon Development. Anytime he wanted to buy a house, he had to clear it with Al Haymon. Anytime he wanted to buy a car, he had to have a meeting with Al. anytime that he wanted to clear the icebox bill or clear the Iceman Nick bill, Nick Bendy or whatever his name is, he had to have a conversation with Al Heyman. You want to buy Richard? Talk to Al Heyman. Al Heyman is the one who's going to send the money. So to see him in the situation where now you got to come from out of retirement, boy, oh boy. And I see this Floyd lawsuit, and if you suing Showtime because Al Heyman misallocated $400 million and you claim they allowed him to, that lets me know that you can't sue Al Heyman directly. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just rough to see. And I know for a fact that all of those accounts ran through Al's name. So to see him in the predicament that he's in, and you got to find out that your money is in a trying circumstance while you having legal trouble and trying to fight legal battles and bring in best in class, it's rough, bro. But the tea leaves is all right there. People give Floyd a lot of backlash right now for, I just like my fourth JBP reference, bro.
Shout out to Joe Budden. That's
yeah.
literally one of my all-time favorite rappers.
Oh man,
I'm not a hater.
Yeah, overly loved. But I heard them guys talk, and I reference them a lot just because when I'm by myself, I just appreciate just hearing men talk. That's why I'm here, bro, to have real conversation amongst men. It's something that it does to me when I hear like
good conversation, man.
Yeah, and yes, exactly, and genuine intention and men having man conversation because that's important. But I say that to say, I heard them talking about how like frivolous Floyd was and they calculating income versus expense and this, that, and the third. Yo, the best of the best done got by financial advisors. Fat Joe had to go to jail over bad financial advisors. Joe Budden lost all his money at a point in time.
Chris Tucker,
exactly.
Chris Tucker said, I'm paying you to pay my taxes.
So,
you pay yours, but you ain't pay mine?
Exactly. So I think about it from this POV. If I got $300, $400 million in an account, and I've seen actual hard Floyd Mayweather checks. After that McGregor fight, this nigga was walking around with like $100 million checks, different colors. One was like yellow, one was green, one was, I don't even fucking know, bro. But he was walking around with these checks, pulling up the games. And I guess he had plans on cashing them after the weekend, but he was just walking around flaunting these giant checks.
Better than jewelry.
Exactly. But they go into an account that is governed and controlled by that of Al Heyman. And you don't see Al Heyman. He operates like that of a ghost. He still sends facts.
That's what they call him, though.
Yeah, I've never met this man a day in my life. I've heard him have conversations, but again, I say back to that person in his life, Gervonta's life, who was overseeing the people around him. This guy was used to dealing with like degenerates, guys that, you know what I mean, don't seem like the brightest bulbs. So for me to be in that realm of things kind of made him just a tad uneasy. And in my head, I always used to wonder, like, why won't you pay the bill at the club, Ravone Littlejohn? Why won't you clear this tab? Like, it's not your money. Like, pay it. But he works directly under Al Heyman. So if he's working directly under Al Heyman and simple bills need to be paid, and you treating this man money like it's yours, and then I hear what I hear currently, oh, you was treating it like it was yours because in theory, it probably actually is yours. If this nigga name on the account, it ain't even on yours. And we had a lot of people around us that was feeling like, yo, bro, why his name ain't on his own account though? But why he don't have access to his own money? Why every time he want to touch a dollar, he got to go holler at Al? Like, what the fuck? And the way it's kind of like, it's almost fucked up because it is fucked up actually. A lot of the beefs that Gervonta was having amongst the field was because he got the Al Heyman look. Al Heyman is looked at like the guy that turns people into superstars. Yeah. He made Floyd a superstar. Like it was what it was in the J. Prince era and all of the above. But when he became Money May, oh, shit changed, bro. And the fact that Gervonta got that look, but Devin didn't get the look, or Shakur didn't get the look. Yeah. Shakur had J. Prince behind him. He watching like a hawk. He gonna want access to them finances. Devin got his daddy right there. He gonna want access to them finances. Oh, yeah. You ain't finna hold this money, not when I'm right here. Hell no. So it looks a lot more clear to me in hindsight why those guys didn't get the Al Heyman look and why he was so stuck on that of Gervonta Davis and turning him into a superstar. And it was simply because the infrastructure wasn't there. And he preyed on it.
But it does sound like something that is fixable once he realizes everything. You know, sometimes your eyes do have to open to everything that goes on around you.
You mean me and him fixable, or you talking about his finances fixable?
No, the relationship.
Oh, the relationship. Yeah.
You could hear it. Now, you mentioned that he was making some icebox purchases or Iceman purchases.
I mean, he buy a lot of jewelry, yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of the Iceman.
Yeah.
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 You did good. You did good. I didn't peep that. I didn't peep that.
Boy, good.
Let me explain that to you though, bro. Before you even, I'll let you ask your question. Go ahead.
There was some text message or some DMs.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked me that too,
that
bro.
came out between you and Drake, where Drake wasn't really happy.
Yeah. It's an OVO tat here. It's a, you know what I mean? It's a Drake tattoo right here. Man, it's love, man. I fuck with the boy overly strong. It was super problematic for me, for him to write me after, and I known Drake since 2010, like it's almost 15, 16 years now. I was a snotty little kid outside Mark Barnes clubs in DC when Future the Prince was in his OVO jacket, and I'm just like a 17-year-old kid trying to buy that motherfucker off of him. Or we in the Rocky Steps in Philly, fucking with Meek Mill, and my little brother, who I was managing at the time, is rapping for the boy, and we snapping up the photos and all of the above and staying in contact. And every time they was coming around, that's kind of like how I even led myself to the Under Armour situation, bro. When I talked about being like a snotty-nosed kid trying to make his strides in the music industry and things like that, man. Anytime they had a show in the area, I was there. And at bare minimum, I would sit outside and talk to Future the Prince the whole time about life. And he wasn't managing him at the time, but I'm managed by my people. I'm managed by my friends that I grew up with. I'd rather get that 15% to people I fuck with. That's a Drake line. And when Future, right after Gervonta won in London, the Liam Walsh fight, after we closed the Under Armour deal, Drake hit him and invited us to Houston, where we go and do Houston Appreciation Week, and we did the weekend and all of the above, and it was fire. But when I got out there, both him and Future the Prince was just so proud to see me, the little kid that was running around with, you know what I mean, his act at the time, just trying to get him placed properly. Like, I was doing my best. And they was playing my artists on OVO Sound Radio and shit like that. So the love was there. Even when G and we would get stuck in New York for extended periods of time. And I told you, the money wasn't always there. And he would be still like buying stuff for himself, but I needed clothes. Oliver would tell me I can go to 54 Bond Street OVO store, get whatever I need. I'm leaving with 10 sweatsuits, OVO Jordans, Timberlands, all of the above, everything I needed.
Fire.
Yeah, he right there taking pictures of all of it. So shout out to you too, big boy. But it was just so much time invested. Then undercard of Mayweather McGregor, I texted Drake that camp and asked him if he wanted to put a patch on the shorts. He said it would be epic and amazing. I never charged him a dime. After I never charged him a dime, we was locked in, overly locked in. And then after the fight, I ended up gifting him the shorts from the fight and all of the above. And over the years, we just always kept open dialogue. Our birthdays 2 days apart. I would always go to his birthday party, and it would be like, you know, man, he got the budget. So a couple days after that, he's October 24th, I'm October 26th. A couple days after that, my parents could have took me wherever in the world. You could take me to Denny's, bro. It didn't matter to me. At that point in time, I was grateful for the access, you know what I mean? Because I could be able to take that and get that to my people and all of the above. And so to have a open rapport with the guy I regarded as the greatest artist at that point in time, it meant the world to me. You know, Chubbs and them coming to DC, they tapping in with me. I'm setting them up on a Monday at Rose Bar. I got 18 passes for the boy. I'm handing them out to all of the girls in the city and this, that, and the third. For 2 days, I'm that nigga in DC. You know what I mean? And then go to New York, run the same script. But I say that to say, when he unfollowed me, I asked him a question. And at this time, he had just come off the heels of going back and forth with all of the Kendrick stuff. And I felt like, all right, I stuck with you. I ain't necessarily agree with the way that you handle things in regard to the lawsuit and everything that ended up transpiring after that. But I never turned on you. I never pulled the plug. I'm still holding the fort. You got to think I'm in DC in the middle of like him and Pusha T. I'm around all Pusha T's staff and family. Pusha T lives in Maryland. He outside. I'm running around, OVO tattoos on, OVO clothes on. You know what I mean? Chubbs OVO come to DC. They got me and Chubbs co-hosting the club. Like, it was a thing. And I said it to say, when he wrote me back and said that, he said something along the lines of like a snitch. You snitching or ratting through the whole album or something along those lines. Because I had put out a mixtape. And instead of saying it was fire, you told me that. I was like, what the fuck, nigga? You know, I did my one too. You could at least acknowledge the fact that I did my one too. But that's me being petty. In reality, I was getting a lot of calls at that time from just random numbers. Houston, New Orleans, just random numbers. And I would get random threats. And Stefon was playing in Houston at this time. Drake had just moved to Houston at this time. So as I got people calling my phone, threatening me, threatening my family, I didn't know which direction this shit was going to come from. So when you say anything in the realm of rat, snitch, and we talking about my family and threats is coming forth, meanwhile, at the time, you moving like mafioso Drake, it's a far cry from that of what I'm used to on Degrassi or even the So Far Gone days. It's just a different guy. And me having close access to the intricacies around you and knowing how they operate and shit like that, it was, nah, bro, let's nip this in the bud. We ain't playing. Like, hell no. I felt like the only safety I had was for me to be public. Criminals don't commit crime in front of the world. You get what I'm saying? They do that, or at least good criminals don't commit crime, like run on your floor with no mask on and tell you they don't give a fuck about the mask and all of the above while they robbing you and kicking your face in, and then you go to court and next thing you know, you're in a Patriots facility and it's still all good. You still run around free and it's all up. But good criminals do not commit crime on camera, in front of people, things like that. So I felt like me speaking up and kind of beating them to the punch would diffuse things privately on the back end. And I honestly feel like I didn't say anything so foul about him. I mean, people took the LeBron thing out of context, but I think he was just using an example. I don't think he was saying that, you know, he was doing anything sideways or unfaithful or anything foolish like that. I think that was a misread. But I definitely felt like at that point in time, with the walls closing in on me, you know, I'm dealing with PTSD, I'm dealing with post-concussion shit and all types of nonsense. I definitely felt like I had to say something in that moment, like, yo, bro, if anything happened to me, motherfuckers, it could have been one of these niggas type shit. And I felt like that was my only ally to safety.
Do you regret it now?
No, I don't regret it. I definitely feel like I had to do what I had to do. The call stopped. You know what I mean? When I'm getting calls and people saying, hey, I'm going to feed your baby to your girl and I'm going to feed your newborn to your wife and shit like that. Like, I ain't got time to be playing, bro. And I'm not trying to get put back in a trick bag. Like, I don't want to get too much into the intricacies of my past and things that I survived. But let's just say whatever regard you hold Gervonta Davis to, I'm right there. Everything that he been through, everything that you think he built on, I'm right there. We got to think. We lived through all of our mature adult years together. So the same little church boy that was around the bar and bat mitzvahs, it's a little different as grown men. You know what I mean? My parents was looking at me like I was losing my mind and like, why you taking these chances and things like that? And I changed my life completely. I ain't had to deal with none of that. And I wasn't going to be put back in a trick bag just because this mafioso guy got a big contract and all of a sudden he want to start calling hits. I couldn't align with that. So I had to do everything I felt like would put me in a position of safety for that of me and mine. And I think it panned out the way it panned out on purpose. Shout out to the boy though. It's nothing but love. And if you feel like I breached your trust in any way, shape, or form, I thoroughly apologize. I do feel, and this might be just my own POV, but I definitely feel like Universal leveraged that transparency between he and I in their suit simply because the world had never heard his POV on the lawsuit until I posted that. And I didn't realize that until hindsight. If they felt like he might be taking this approach or that approach or this approach or that approach, and then you read the messages and he's saying like, oh, I'm the only one to make the walls crumble. I don't want to misquote. I don't know if we can get it pulled up, but I don't want to
butcher.
Yeah. I don't want to make the walls fall or something. I just remember him saying something along the lines of like, everybody else has been too eccentric or too this or too that to get it done, and the industry will be a safer place after this and all of the above. I think I was just the first time that they had actually, at least publicly, heard his POV on that of the approach toward the lawsuit and the beef and this and that.
Now, let me ask you this. With all that is going on. Go ahead.
Iceman, too. You really waiting on this album?
I am.
You waiting on this album?
Yeah, because he still hasn't responded to Homeboy, so.
When do you think it's coming out?
I don't know. He's putting everybody on ice,
according
obviously.
to Press, it's the 27th, so we'll see.
Let me ask you a question.
Go.
if you were suing your employer, do you think they would put dollars and cents behind your project? Would I market you if I was your boss?
Because it's Drake, I would.
Even though I'm suing you.
Yeah.
And even though you're snitching on me.
Yeah.
It's my money too.
There's more money coming in from it. You're dropping that Drake album.
While you're in court.
While you're in court. There's a lot of money that's going to come from that.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah. So they're
sometimes there's like
Universal don't play about their money.
Well, plus sometimes there's contractual
Clearly,
obligations
you know what I
where
mean?
If you're looking to part ways, well, let's go ahead and fulfill this contract so we can finalize everything.
Or I don't let you part ways.
We don't know what'll happen, but they're definitely gonna release that album.
I'm gonna say this.
Universal.
No.
Do what you got to do.
I'm gonna say this, and I want the album too. Don't get it twisted. When Iceman, when he lost the suit in October, I felt like the album was supposed to come out shortly thereafter. A lot of people did, but he lost the suit with the intention to appeal. If you appeal, we go right back into court. He has interrogatories that he has to supply responses to by like late April or something along those lines. This is just my take, right? We see what just happened when a guy tried to sue his current boss for hundreds of millions of dollars. His name is Sean Combs, and he's currently incarcerated for the foreseeable next 2 years. It might be more charges coming his way. All love to that family. I say that to say, if I'm suing my boss and I'm trying to teach you a lesson, I'm going to fund the diss record that brings your value down, it'd be really, 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 really hard for me to wrap my mind around funding somebody who's trying to snitch on me. That's just my take.
Yeah.
Understandable as well. If I'm trying to snitch on you, I'm saying people buying streams, the numbers are controlled. These guys are doing this. These guys are doing that. These guys are doing this. These guys are doing that. I just feel like that album is, and this might age improperly or it might age really well. How can this album come out while we're actively litigating? The same way I got to watch what I say in this conversation because I'm actively litigating. It's just very, very hard for me to wrap my mind around financing something at the magnitude of a Drake level that we're used to, where you type pencil and Drake pops up, where you type brownie and Drake pops. You could type anything and that motherfucker is right there on your phone. It's just a far cry from that. And from my POV, even seeing Nokia be the hit record it was on a party album and not reach the level of what a God's Plan was or a Hotline Bling was because the marketing dollars aren't behind it. It's very, very hard for me. And I've been in court very, very intensely over the past 2 years. So pardon my legal bias. It's just very hard for me to know that those answers to the interrogatories are due at the end of April and we think that they're gonna fund his project in the interim. If he settles, album comes quickly. If he does not settle, I don't think we get this album until whatever's going in court passes. But that's just my take. I respect yours.
Now, to wrap this up, I wanted to ask you one last question.
Let's do it.
What does moving on look like for Chris Blake?
Oh man, we gotta get you in Static Passion, champ. We gotta get you out of the
No, seriously. What is it? What does moving on look like? Like you're in a situation.
I appreciate this question too, bro.
You have a lot of there's a lot of that mental health there, right? There's a lot of the PTSD.
Yeah.
There's a lot that involves family.
Yeah.
A lot of your business.
Yeah.
All of that stuff is there.
Yeah.
So you're going through court.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is something that's active in your life. That's pressure that's on you all day long. What does moving on look like for you?
For me, part of the reason why my child that's coming, my new boy, his first name is gonna be Cross. I felt like all of this was me having to bear the cross for that of the future that God sees for me. I feel like I'm at a crossroad in my life, where I feel like, much like how we talked about earlier in the regard to making peace in certain situations, even with that of my enemies, or finding a way to at least attempt peace with that of my enemies, even if we coexist on terms that aren't good, but find a way to coexist without people having to have maximum penalty and things like that. I think me getting over this hurdle comes from more moments like this where I'm able to express my POV, get a better read on where I am in my life, have the public have a better read on where I am in my life. So the reception when I go outside is different. I'm appreciative of even being on this platform because you ain't known for no mess. You know what I mean? One of the last conversations I've had, or some of the conversations I've had, have floated in the realm of quote unquote mess. And for me to be able to have a genuine conversation with good men, I think is something that means a lot to me. I think you can expect more content from that of Chris Blake. It's a boatload of clothes on the way in regard to my collection. I'm even thinking about, I don't want to say that because I haven't copyrighted it yet.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot more production. I think even making peace with certain elements of my past is just really important, like that of the conversation that we just had. And I'm going to probably chat with him when we get off camera.
Yeah.
But just certain situations throughout my life where I was faced with a crossroad, and by way of the right decision or just God's favor in that moment, I was able to survive and see another day, have another day to influence that of my children in a positive light, live and lead by example. So as long as I keep stacking these good days, champ, like I said, I didn't say this, but I'm in therapy a couple days a week, one of which is group, one of which is personal.
Okay.
I'm looking to even get it to a third day where I do couples therapy with that of my lady as we prepare for marriage and things like that. But just doing all of the self-work to make sure I'm the best version of myself as I continue to put myself in positions to win. I always tell any kid looking up to me or anybody looking up to me, whether man, child, woman, whatever the case is, you got to be in the game to play.
Yeah.
Like when you in the moment, like for instance, you come to LA, man, you're going to touch every hand that you possibly can. You're going to take every conversation that you possibly can within the 24 hours allotted to you, which is why we're here right now. And all I'm trying to do is maximize on those experiences and put the bad days behind me and keep stacking the good ones.
That's dope.
Love.
That's a great answer.
Appreciate it, champ.
Well, I appreciate you greatly for coming through. And again, when we go back and this is put together, we'll send it over to you just in case there's anything in there that you want to take out.
And after the nonsense, we'll spin back, man. We have a healthy conversation.
Yeah,
we can talk about everything.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm gonna start talking to you about fashion too.
Man, love, I'm gonna see you some clothes.
Yeah, do shit.
Yeah, for sure. I got pieces.
Let's get it.
Love.
Go ahead.
Couple things.
Yeah.
Everything comes out in the wash.
Indeed.
Karma is served cold.
Indeed.
And let your success be the best revenge ever.
Man, thank you, my brother. Love. Yeah.
Keep
love,
rocking, bro.
Love.
Go ahead.
No. I just wanted to say, bro, it has been a very intriguing ride from that of when I first spoke up to that of where things currently are right now. And I didn't really do much of anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I did was continue to live and exist. And certain behaviors, much like you said, it all comes out in the wash, just continue to cycle. Just continue to cycle. And like having a pair of pants with change in them, little shit keep popping out. Next thing you know, you got $1.
Come on.
Yeah. How you spend it is how you spend it, but it is what it is. I'm just collecting. Yeah.
High Life. Sign us off, my brother.
It's a dope one.